Greetings students. Today we are going to learn about one of UAE's leading public joint stock company, Emaar Properties. Let us know this company in a much better way. Emaar Properties, based in the United Arab Emirates, is a public joint stock company, PJSC, listed on the Dubai financial market. Established in 1997 with an initial paid-up capital of AED 1 billion, Emaar Properties is currently the Persian Gulf region's largest land and real estate developer. With over 60 companies, Emaar's activities include property investment and development, property management services, education, healthcare, retail and hospitality sectors, as well as investing in financial service providers. In 2007, the government of Dubai, through the Investment Corporation of Dubai, took a 32% equity stake in Emaar by exchanging land for 28 billion AED worth of stock. With more than 14,000 homes, Emaar has several major real estate projects under various stages of development in Dubai. The company also owns and manages the Gold and Diamond Park. Emaar started construction on its most ambitious project to date on 1998, the AED 73 billion, 20 billion US dollars Burj Khalifa downtown development, which comprises the Burj Khalifa, the tallest tower in the world, when completed in 2009, the Dubai Mall, Burj Khalifa Business Hub, the Lofts, the Old Town Island, Burj Khalifa Boulevard, the residences, Burj Views, man-made lakes, landscaped parks and gardens. Located in the Burj Khalifa, Armani Hotel and Residences Dubai includes 160 guest rooms and suites, restaurants and a spa covering more than 40,000 meters square. Above the hotel are 144 luxury residential apartments. Emaar also owns several blocks of apartments in the Greens as well as villas in the lakes, which are rented to tenants. However, the Dubai government's rent cap laws have fixed rents at up to 50% below the prevailing market level. In early 2007, Emaar contacted Green's rental tenants, informing them that they had 2 weeks to agree to purchase their apartment at the market rate, or it would be sold on the open market. Despite initial denials by Emaar, a similar ultimatum was given to Lakes tenants shortly afterwards.
Mohammed Al-Abbar, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Sorry, a proud day for you. What's the bit of this building that you like the most?
I like it that it brings smiles to people's faces. They walk about and with the kids and they look at it and probably feel optimistic and take a picture and believe that, there's optimism that, human beings are so capable to design and construct it and push the boundaries of technology in every element, engineering, construction, so far, and be able to execute it. It means human beings are really very strong and very productive, and therefore I think the optimism that it brings to people's hearts.
But is it the optimism that Dubai had, let's say, 6 years ago, as opposed to the optimism that it perhaps evaporated now?
Well, I think optimism is in all human beings, all over the world, from New York to Shanghai to probably Mozambique. People get up in the morning optimistic, and that's human nature, and that's how the world moves on. Now, while you're being optimistic, sometimes we overdo it. That's a fact of life. Bankers give too much money. We get too excited. We do crazy things. But that's how human beings learn, and I just hope that the lesson is not too expensive.
So that's what's happened to Dubai. You all got excited a bit. Is that what?
I don't think we got overexcited. I think we are part of something called Earth. And we're all going through the boom time from, as I said, California to London to to Shanghai, and there was oversupply. And, some people took very liberal decisions. Banks given too much. People believed too much, and as a result, there is an adjustment in Dubai. Our banks are in good shape. There was an oversupply in the market. Values are becoming at a reasonable level, but
they're still down, aren't they? Quite considerably from the boom time. Is that just a natural correction? Is what I would
say. I would say a natural correction, but you must keep in mind that the cities still have 50,000 people monthly moving in. We still have 9%.
How many are leaving?
Well, out of the 50,000, I would say probably 10,000 to 15,000 leaving a month. But that is the record of the city all along. So we're talking about an incredible move. Still tourism going at 9% a year. Our national airlines is double-digit growth. Hey, things are not what they used to be. Let's be very honest. But what we're trying to say is that in human history, we all have to go through these tough times. We take tough decisions, we try to learn from them, and we move on.
Yep. When we heard about Nakheel and the debt bomb, of course, it couldn't, had to have more time to pay back its bond. Do you have anything lurking on your balance sheet that we should know about and the investment community should know about?
Well, as a public company, we produce our balance sheets on our quarterly results almost. And thank God that not only the management have done a fabulous job in managing the company, but I think that the auditors are becoming very serious nowadays, so they take all the right decisions, and even in case somebody wants to misbehave, they do all the right things. So I'm very happy that everything is behind many people, including us.
Right, let's talk about one thing which I'm sure will turn up on your balance sheet as well. I can't get a clear answer on this, no matter who I ask. Did it cost $1 billion, as some said, or did it cost over $4.5 billion, as others say? So what's the true cost of the Burj Dubai?
A little above $1.5 billion.
Does that include all the projects around it as well?
No, the project that will take us up to close $12 billion. But in all these projects was built, sold. The project as the Burj as well, 90% sold. And
it is 90% sold?
90% sold. With a nice, little bit above 10% return, which is actually in tall buildings. It's very difficult to achieve. But in the design of the building and the efficiency and how architect consultants and our management team have worked together was fabulous. And again, the market was correct for us when we sold.
You're not going to tell me how high it is?
Tonight I will.
No, tell me, tell us now, come on.
It's above 800, but tonight the number will appear. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed will he's kind enough to come in and then celebrate and then throw the number out to the public.
With the building like this, it's a hard act to follow. What does Emaar do next?
Well, first of all, human beings are capable. There'll be people doing wonderful things like this, and I hope we can be a part of it. For us as Emaar, I think we're in the business of development. We're in the business of looking after our shareholders, and we do that only if we bring wonders with good profitability and bring quality of life, especially in the Middle East. And we'll continue doing that.
And a good value as well. I mean, $1.6 billion to build that highest building in the world. Surely any other nation couldn't build anything that cheaply because of the labor that you have, which is, of course, some have called it virtually on slave labor.
Well, I think in probably China can have cheaper labor than us. I don't know what they're going to put in the quality with that we put in. And if people talk about labor and treatment of labor, I think the record of our company and the contractors that we bring in, it's clear that we do the best for our laborers, but we do much best is that the experience they learn from participating in an incredible project like this. 12,000 of them will go onto their CVs, and I hope that better their life, their experience, and their well-being, and that's how we'll achieve.
But that's, of course, contingent if another one of these is built somewhere else, or is it just having it there?
You don't have to build a tall building if you're specialized in doing quality work and cabling, steel, cement, concrete, engineering, whatever it is. You've got a lot of that still going on in the region.
Right. What next for this building? Very quickly.
I think we should take care of it beautifully for as long as I live.
The UAE has a large population of expatriate construction workers, mainly from India, Pakistan, and the Philippines. With trade unions outlawed, the poor conditions and low wages have brought the UAE some unwelcome headlines. In Dubai, the government has done much to guarantee limited rights to such workers, particularly with regard to ensuring that they are paid on time. However, from time to time, labor disputes, strikes, and protests do still occur, with laborers often on a daily wage of around $8 and the land that Emaar builds its developments on being essentially free. the price of Dubai property seems to be somewhat disconnected from the fundamentals. In July 2010, American businessman Lionel Lombard filed a $61 million lawsuit against Emaar and its chairman Mohammed Alabar in a Californian federal court, alleging he had been falsely imprisoned for 2 years and tortured in UAE prisons because he had spoken up on behalf of Emaar foreign workers and alleged apartheid was being practiced by Emaar. The company has joint ventures and projects across the region covering Algeria, Bahrain, Egypt, France, India, Indonesia, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Tunisia, and Turkey. International projects include Cairo Heights in Egypt, Boulder Hills, a leisure and residential community in Hyderabad, India, multiple resort projects in Morocco, including Amalkis 2 and 3 and Bahia Bay residential golfing communities, 8th Gate project in Damascus, the city's first master planned community, and Lakeside in Istanbul. In Saudi Arabia, Emaar is embarking on the creation of the AED 98 billion, 26.6 billion US dollars King Abdullah Economic City, a mixed-use development covering 55 million square meters of greenfield land with a 35-kilometer shoreline close to the port city of Jeddah. Emaar Properties announced plans to expand the retail sector with investments of over AED 15 billion, 4 billion US dollars to develop approximately 150 malls in the larger emerging markets of the Middle East, North Africa, MENA, and the Indian subcontinent. While continuing to expand its core business of real estate development, Emaar has diversified into related business. Emaar is an equal shareholder in Emerald Services LLC as a tripartite joint venture with the UK-based Carolean and Al Futtaim Group, which provides property and facilities management services across the UAE. Emaar also holds 30% equity in Dubai Bank, focused on retail and commercial banking, and is the majority shareholder in Amlak Finance, UAE's leading Islamic home financing company. However, the financial crisis and the unfavorable economic conditions make it unlikely that Emaar would proceed with its previously announced expansion plans. Difficulties in access to financial resources, both in capital market and bank loans, were noted. Emaar has joint ventures and projects across the region covering Algeria, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Morocco, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkey, and Tunisia. Recently, Emaar announced plans to expand the retail sector with investments of over 4 billion US dollars to develop approximately 150 malls in the mega emerging markets of the Middle East, North Africa, MENA, and the Indian subcontinent. Emaar has also made moves internationally with the acquisition of America's best builder, John Laing Homes, for 1 billion US dollars. The partnership with John Laing Homes is a reiteration of Emaar's strategy of expanding its business on a global basis beyond Dubai. In addition, Emaar has teamed up with Giorgio Armani to build and manage 10 Armani hotels and resorts across the world. An Armani hotel will feature in Emaar's flagship Burj Khalifa Tower, and other locations will include Milan, London, Shanghai, New York, and Tokyo. In January 2006, the company announced plans to expand its investments into the education business within the MENA region and India. The initiative will involve the establishment of international schools in the MENA region and India, offering education and an integrated curriculum for students ranging from kindergarten to tertiary levels. Emaar has already set up partnerships with internationally renowned education specialists and finalized the acquisition of existing institutions. Emaar's healthcare initiative, launched in March 2006, will initially be focused on the MENA and South Asia markets. Emaar's plan involves the construction of hospitals, clinics, and medical centers and investing in the provision of world-class healthcare services. With a total investment outlay of around $5 billion over the next decade, Emaar aims to develop and manage around 100 hospitals, each with 200 bed capacities and medical specialities in key centers. Emaar will provide the infrastructure as well as manage the administration and operations of the hospitals, clinics, and medical centers. So students, we got to know about the various aspects of Emaar Properties Group. Hope you must have got useful information about the company. Have a nice day.